The Sociology optional paper of Civil Service Mains Examination 2023 has just been over, and we will be having a look at the paper. Paper 1 and paper 2 both have section A and section B, where there will be 2 compulsory questions, and among the rest of the questions, out of 6 people have to pick 3. So, I am starting with paper 1. The section A of paper 1, the question number 1 and the question A is about the distinctiveness of the feminist method of social research. Social research chapter is there, and even though you haven't studied about the feminist perspective, the feminist perspective is being covered in other chapters like family. So, if you combine both, you will be able to write this one, even though I can't say that this is a very direct question. Question number 1B is about the relationship between sociology and political science, a direct question from chapter 1. Question 1C is the dramaturgical perspective of how it enables our understanding of everyday life. Erving Goffman's dramaturgical perspective again is a direct question. So, if you have covered the different perspective in the initial chapters, you will be able to do this one. Question 1D is reference group theory a universally applicable model? So, Robert Merton's reference group theory and its application is being asked. So, the universal application part, one has to think a little bit and come up, otherwise it is a direct question. Question 1E is about ethnicity and race, whether the distinction between the two is blurred. This is again a question from the chapter stratification. So, you are studying both the concepts in that chapter. So, whether they are overlapping is a question which you can try, but a little bit of planning and what all things to be put is need to be worked out. Moving on to question number 2. Question number 2A is Robert Mitchell's and Iron Law of Oligarchy, and it also asks about, do lions and foxes in Wilfredo Pareto's theory essentially differ from each other? So, Wilfredo Pareto's theory of lions and foxes, circulation of elites, and Mitchell's Iron Law of Oligarchy, both theories from the chapter 7 of paper 1, one can easily write this. Question 2B, historical materialism and its relevance. Direct question from Karl Marx, how Marx the material interpretation of history can be relevant in present society. Question 2C is about what are variables and how do they facilitate research, a direct questions from the research methodology paper chapter 3. Moving on, question number 3A is about the characteristics of scientific method, and do you think scientific method in conducting sociological research is foolproof? So, sociology and science, direct question from the initial chapters of research methodology, one can easily write this one. Question number 3B, how do you assess the changing patterns of kinship relation in societies today? Again a question directly from the family chapter, the kinship relations in the present society. Question number 3C talks about, is Weber's idea of bureaucracy a product of the historical experience of Europe? So, apart from the theory, you have to mention about the time in which this theory came up. It won't be a very difficult problem. The last question from section A, that is question number 4, has 3 parts again. Question number 4A is about common sense and social research, a direct question from chapter 1. Question 4B is about poverty and social exclusion. Again, 2 components where we can see in the stratification chapter. So, this question asks you to illustrate the connection between poverty and social exclusion. So, if you have covered the syllabus, the concepts properly, you can clearly make the connection. The last one, question 4C, highlight the difference and similarities between totemism and animism. Again a direct question from the religion chapter, chapter 8. So, this won't be any difficult for anybody. Moving on to section B. Section B, the first question, question number 5, the compulsory one with 5 sub questions. 5A is about the relevance of corporate social responsibility in a world marked by increasing environmental crisis. So, how the corporate social responsibility can be connected to environmental related projects. So, this is from the work and economic life chapter, and a little bit of construction of ideas is needed for this, but still it is attemptable. Question number 5B is about civil society and democracy. Direct question, and one can do full justice to that. Question number 5C, what function does religion perform in a pluralistic society? Direct question from the religion chapter, and pluralistic society and the role of religion is an expected kind of a question. Then moving on, question number 5D, analyze critically David Morgan's views on family practices. So, this one is a bit more specific, but if you have studied the family chapter, the theoretical part of it, one can manage. But make sure that you remember all the specifics, which some of you might not be able to. The last one, question number 5E is, does women's education help to eradicate patriarchal discrimination? Reflect with illustrations. This is an easy one. Education and how it changes the patriarchal norms. You can use examples, and most of the people won't be having any problem in writing this one. Question number 6A, different dimensions of qualitative method, and do you think that qualitative method helps to gain a deeper sociological insight? Direct question, easy question. It will be, all of you will be able to write this without any trouble. Second one, 6B, explain Max Weber's theory of social stratification. How does Weber's idea of class differs from that of Marx? Again a very direct question from the stratification chapter. Question 6C, what are the ethical issues of a researcher face in making use of participant observation? Again, participant observation and the limitations and ethical issues is something which all of you will be able to write. Moving on, question number 7. Question number 7A is how economic globalization has brought changes in the patterns of employment in 21st century. Globalization and employment, again something on the expected line from the work and economic life chapter, and if you have revised all parts of the syllabus, this one also won't be a problem. Question number 7B is about social media and changes in protest. Not very expected, but since we study protest and other kind of things in chapter 7, political and social problems, we could manage this one, but if you don't know the specifics of the influence of social media clearly, you may find it a bit difficult. Question 7C is about A.G. Frank's theory of development of underdevelopment. So, this one again is a bit specific, but most of you won't be finding too many problems in writing this one. The chapter on social change and development, the chapter 10 actually deals with this particular thing. The last question, question number 8A, what is Taylorism? Analyze its merits and demerits. A direct question from work and economic life. So, easy one. 8B is about religious, what are the new religious movement? So, the religious revivalism and the other things again is directly given in the syllabus chapter 8. So, it is again very much attemptable. The last question, question number 8C is the role of science and technology in addressing age-old taboos and superstitions. So, science and religion chapter we have. So, this question is actually about how science can be used in addressing age-old practices. So, a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of planning will be necessary. So, I would say all the questions in section A are much more easy. Section B, again, it is not too difficult, but it will be better if you pick 2 questions from section A and 1 from section B for better writing. Now, let me move on to the paper 2 of sociology, that is Indian society. So, the pattern we follow is again the same. So, we are starting with the compulsory question. So, section A, question number 1, A, the features of A.R. Desai's dialectical perspective, direct question. 1B, 1950, the golden era of village studies. You can write very well using maximum examples. This one. Question 1C, the difference between attributional and interactional approach in studying the caste system, a bit theoretical, but when we study the caste system chapter, we actually study different perspectives and methods associated with the study of caste system. So, if you remember that, you can try this one. Then question number 1D, are tradition and modernity antithetical to each other? So, we have that in sociology paper 2. Section A, chapter 2 deals with this particular segment, direct question. Then question number 1E, discuss the main features of land reforms in post-independent India, a direct question from the syllabus where the changes of agrarian transformation is clearly given. So, you won't be finding any problem in writing this one. Question 2A is about Andre Batel's views on Indian village, very much expected and direct. Question 2B is about salient features of role of middle class in India's democracy. Again, role of middle class is clearly given in the social class chapter. So, a direct question. Then question 2C is about the role of market and modern forces in understanding the trends in marriage system. So, when we study the kinship chapter, we study the family and marriage system. So, the changes and in the trends of marriage as a result of the market and modern forces. So, that again is an expected kind of a question. Question number 3A, Louis Dumont's concept of binary opposition, something directly from the caste chapter there. Question 3B, descent and alliance, then differentiate between North Indian and South Indian kinship systems, again a direct question from the kinship chapter. And question 3C is sensitization with suitable illustrations. All of you will be able to write that, a very expected question. Then question 4, the perspectives of isolation, assimilation and integration in Indian tribal development, a very textbook question where we address all the 3 types of tribal development, very much expected kind of a question. Question 4B is about the implication and impact of globalization in changing agrarian class structure. So, again from the agrarian transformation chapter, it will be easy to write. The third one, again a direct question, the critique the victory narratives of green revolution in the context of Indian society. Directly from the syllabus, you will be able to quote all the important case studies over there. So, section A is over. Section B, question number 5A, citing some case studies, expand the concept of development induced displacement, a very direct question from the challenges of social transformation chapter. So, moving on, question 5B is about cultural pluralism in the context of India's unity in diversity. So, cultural pluralism is something which we again study in the syllabus. So, the element can be traced out in different chapters of your sociology paper 2. So, you need to take a little bit of time to construct your answer. Question 5C is about the features of the new educational policy. So, that is a question which you can expect in your GS paper as well. So, the social implications of the new education policy is what you are supposed to write. Then question 5D, the sociological interconnections between social media and mass mobilization. Again, you will be able to manage this, but if you don't know the specifics, your answer may look a bit general. So, be careful about that. Question 5E is about the nature of regional variation in sex ratio in India, a very expected kind of a question from the population chapter. That will be easy. Moving on, question 6A. So, do you account for the increasing significance of religion in public and personal spheres in the context of secularization? So, secularization and role of religion, an expected question from the religion chapter. So, you will be ready for this. So, question 6B, in the face of rising global climatic concerns, how do you conceptualize the relevance of Chipko movement? A direct question from the movement chapter about the environmental movement Chipko. So, you will be able to write this, it won't be a problem. Question 6C is about what actionable measures would you suggest to curb the recurrent child labour menace in India? Again a direct question from the urban society chapter. So, this won't again be a problem. Moving on to question number 7. 7A is about Dalit political mobilization. Again, Dalit movement is directly there in the syllabus. So, you can write a decent answer for that. Question 7B, reverse migration from the population chapter. So, reverse migration again won't cause much trouble for a person who revised the syllabus properly. Question number 7C is about the rural-urban continuum, the concept. So, make sure that you use suitable examples here. Again, something directly from the syllabus. The last question, question 8A, is about the thematic linkage between patriarchy and honor killing, something very much on the expected line. So, if you can quote some real cases and quote verdicts and all, it will add more weightage to this one. The next one, question 8B, discuss the challenges faced by the cooperative movements in India. So, as part of this agrarian society, we do study cooperative movement, but if you are not very confident, you may find it a little bit of trouble because you may not know the details on this one. Then the last one, what is aging? Discuss the major problems of aged population in India. So, this is about from the chapter population. Aging is directly given in the syllabus, so you would have prepared for this. So, on the whole, for paper 2 also, both the segments, the questions are by and large attemptable, except for this maybe the cooperative movement or such question you may find a little bit of difficult, but by and large the questions are quite attemptable if you have revised all the sections of the syllabus. Thank you.